I think this is probably the best episode we've seen so far.
I think so too.
Not to say that it didn't have its quirks. There's definitely a few little minor things I want to bring up. But overall, I think so far this has been better than the first two we saw.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Ghabulous Fish.
And I'm Katatui101.
And welcome back to this Game of Thrones discussion series. So we just finished watching episode 3, which, what was the title of this episode?
It was called Lord Snow.
Lord Snow. Okay, I wish the episodes kind of like said their title at the beginning. I don't get why a lot of shows don't do that these days.
I know, it's like always adult shows too.
Yeah, I know. Kids' cartoons still tell you the title of the episode.
Yeah. I feel like this episode was really character heavy. I feel like we learned a lot about...
No, it definitely was. This was an episode that was like, not a lot happened in terms of event.
Yeah.
But this was a very good one for character building. So, to start off, traditionally we've started with the Starks and then moved on to the incest twins and then gone to the blonde girl with the buff naked eyeliner dude. Mm-hmm. I actually want to start with the blonde girl today, who I did pick up her name, by the way. It's Daenerys, I want to say. Something
like that. Daenerys.
Yeah. So we're going to start with her because it was the Shore Seas plot, so it'll be the quickest one to get through.
Yeah.
And that's basically just that they were traveling. And it turns out she's pregnant. Mm-hmm. Not a whole lot to say there. One thing I did like a lot, though, was that while they were traveling, she was, like, taking initiative. She was, like, telling the people to stop and stuff.
Yeah, like, she's trying to get comfortable with it. It seems like she's kind of like, well, if this is going to be my life, then I might as well feel comfortable. And,
no, definitely.
Like, get used to it.
She's, like, adapting to realizing she's now in a position of actual power. Mm-hmm. And I like her caretaker was even saying, like, oh, you're sounding more like a queen. She's like, not a queen, whatever the queen of the Dvorki's called.
Yeah.
Started with this, I think it was a soft C sound.
Yeah, they're calling her something, but I don't remember. I like her relationship with the women, too.
Yes, I do quite appreciate that because, I mean, this is a very not feminist culture she's in.
Yeah.
So I kind of like how she's there to kind of, like, bridge the gap. Mm-hmm. Because she's, like, the only woman that seems to have the respect of people around here.
Yeah.
So I don't actually have a whole lot to say about this plot because, like I said, this was the simplest. There's only, like, 2 or 3 scenes for it. I do have one thing I want to criticize, though, and that is the scene with her brother.
Oh, yeah, with when Angry Varian came up and...
Hold on, Katie. You can't go calling these people by their nicknames. You're going to make hammer tapping angry.
Oh, dear.
So
what have I done?
If I could make a quick break from this, because I did promise hammer tapping I'd give him a little shout out here. So as you know, this is our first time watching the show, and we didn't pick up on all the names right away, so to kind of make it easier for us to remember who's who and not to constantly be like, yo, that guy.
That guy with the hair and the...
Yeah, we would give them nicknames based on other characters we knew. Like, for instance, the queen and her brother seemed incestuous. So I'm like, okay, Eric and Ephraim from Fire Emblem are incest twins who are also royalty. So it's an easy parallel for me to understand them better. Uh-huh. One guy who watched the first episode of this series was very, very upset by us using these nicknames. He said we were faking not knowing the characters' names. Here's the comment on screen. I responded to him trying to explain, no, we're not faking this. We genuinely don't know their names. And he left a response to me, but he also deleted it immediately after, so I never got to see it. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, episode 2 went up, and he left a comment again on this, and I'm like, okay, you need to respond to me. And this became a big chain. And at first, I really just thought he was just angry at us. But, oh boy, this guy is just full-on insane. He was talking about conspiracies. He starts talking about how, like, oh, I'm going to expose you for your web of lies. It's like, I mentioned to people in my Discord server and also to him that, like, he writes everything like some anime villain, like, describing his evil plans and, like, being like, oh, you thought you could best me, hero. Well, I have outwitted you with my superior mind. Now face me with the katana of death or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of this guy. So I know he's probably watching this too because he came back for episode 2, so clearly he's enjoying enough to keep going.
Gotta see if we're still faking.
Hold on a sec. He also said that I was faking not having good lighting in this room. For those of you who don't know, one of the big reasons we're doing audio only is because when we do the like audio booth setup we have here, the lighting is absolute shit in this room, and I don't really think it's worth putting our faces in and also having to deal with the lighting. Like, it doesn't seem worth the effort.
Yeah.
But he seems to think that me not putting my face in is proof that I'm faking everything. So, hold on, I'll get my phone out. Hey, hammer tapping, Ghabulous Fish here.
Katatui101.
And as you can see, no, I was not lying about the lighting in here being terrible. The lighting here is pretty bad when we have our, like, recording stuff set up.
Yeah.
So you can see I tried to make it so that we have a little setup to avoid reverb. I don't know how that came out, actually. I couldn't see what I was filming there. But no, so as a result of that, we had to film here on the floor, and the lighting's not good, and I don't really think my face being in this video would add too much to it, so I assure you it had nothing to do with trying to hide anything. I made this offer to you a few times, and you've ignored me every time on it, but I'm willing to work this out with you in a mature discussion. I'm perfectly willing to have a Skype or Discord voice chat with you, where you won't be able to hide behind your keyboard all the time, and maybe we can actually get somewhere. I don't know, I'm not your enemy, I'm not trying to make enemies here. I mean, you're allowed to hate us if you want to hate us. It's not going to be a problem. But, like, your arguments are ridiculous, dude. Like, I'm just trying to be reasonable with you here. So I'm offering to just talk this out. If you don't want to, that's fine. You don't have to. But if you're going to keep saying all the time that we're faking not knowing the characters' names, I'm probably just going to end up shadow banning you, because that's going to get kind of old eventually. It's funny now, but eventually it's just going to keep dragging on. And, like, no one else believes you, dude. We've had, like, 3 other people commenting telling you that you're insane.
Kind of on your own there.
Yeah, like, what do you think our motivation is for lying? Like, I'm so... When we identified these characters by nicknames, absolutely no part of me thought that people would doubt that we didn't know them. It's our first time watching it, and it's just the easiest way to identify them without looking up their names ahead of time, because I don't want to stumble across any spoilers.
At the end of the day, we're literally just sitting here watching Game of Thrones and then talking about it into a microphone. So there's my offer for you. Feel free to ignore it. I'm sure this won't change your mind about anything. You'll come up with some explanation that this isn't actually us, this is CGI, because you think everything we're doing is a lie, and you have this weird complex where everyone's out to get you. But I am offering to make peace with you. I don't want to... I'm not trying to make enemies here. Mm-hmm. So, sorry for this little interruption, everyone. We're going to cut back to the video now, but I just need to make a point to hammer tapping, because he really seemed to think we weren't going to show our faces or his comments on this video. So, there's your proof, I guess. Why would you doubt that? Let's talk about Game of Thrones.
Well, before we move back to Game of Thrones, I just want to say this too. I'm leaving his original comments up. I'm just going to ask this for everyone listening. Please don't go harassing the guy or bullying him. If you want to call him out as bullshit, that's fine. But like I said, I'm not trying to provoke anyone here. Please don't go being hurtful to him. But feel free to call him out on just how absurd everything he's claiming is. And call him an anime villain too, because that seems to piss him off. But that's what people in my Discord server have been calling him. They're calling him the anime villain.
He's become quite famous over there.
Oh, yeah, no. But
anyways, Angry Varian.
Yeah, anyways, Angry Varian, who we're going to call Angry Varian until we learn his proper name. Yeah, he was angry for no reason today.
I was just thinking that, like, I wasn't aware that he was really angry. I mean, I got that he was kind of dissatisfied, but I didn't think he was angry at his sister.
I mean, I definitely saw him as someone who was like he was eager to get back to his power. He wants his throne back.
Yeah.
And I think he was offended that his sister was commanding him, but it's like, I don't know, if your sister is marrying the tribe leader, don't you think she's going to have some power there?
Yeah.
It just seemed like kind of a random outburst. Maybe he's supposed to be unstable. Maybe that's what they're going for.
Yeah, maybe.
And we haven't seen too much of this character in the first 2 episodes, so I'd be willing to believe that maybe he's supposed to be insane.
Yeah, but they maybe should have shown a little more of that before this came.
It felt really out of nowhere, just out of the blue. Like, all of a sudden, oh, he's just angry. And I actually thought they were going to kill him off here. I believe I don't remember if I actually said this in our first 2 episodes or not, but I've been making the prediction that I don't think he's going to last too long. I feel like he's kind of set up to be reckless and immature, and he's going to get himself killed. And I thought for sure they were actually going to kill him today.
Yeah, no, me too.
And I was like, oh, yeah, called it. I still think he's going to die fairly early on in the show.
Oh, yeah, I feel like he's going to die probably by the 2nd season, if not the end of the first.
Oh, I don't think he's lasting till the end of the first, personally. But that's what we got for there. Like I said, that was the shortest plot.
Yeah.
So then I'm actually going to move on to, this is probably the longest plot, but I want to save the other plot for last because that one was my favorite. So this one would be just what the Starks are up to right now.
Yeah.
So Ned's come up to King's Landing with the king, and he was talking to the Queen's incestuous brother, Clive. I still don't know his name. I'm sorry about that. I'm calling him Clive because Fire Emblem Clive looks kind of like him. So it was established that there was like some insane king previously who Clive killed.
Yeah.
And that said insane king murdered Ned's father and I think brother, they said. Mm-hmm. Something of that sort. So I had to wonder how much more we're going to learn about this whole thing.
Probably a lot more.
Also, I'm pretty sure that Clive mentioned there's something about killing the current king too. I don't know how serious he was being, or just kind of like brushing off like, oh, I'd kill him to save you. Because he was talking to his sister, the Queen.
When he was talking to his sister, he was saying that like, oh, I'd kill everyone for you.
Like, I don't think the king's lasting too long, personally.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like Clive might be the one who kills him off.
Yeah. Just like the king's general demeanor in this episode was confusing me.
Like I said, best episode overall so far, but there are some quirks in it. Yes, the king's demeanor in this episode seemed kind of out of place with what we've seen previously.
Yeah.
It could have been that they're showing you, like, when he's presenting himself publicly is different than when he's in his private chambers. But again, this felt like kind of a whiplash with him. Just like, all of a sudden he's here and now he's like making fun of people and he's being all nasty to people. And he didn't seem like that at all. But like I said, it could just be that he has like, you know, a public face and his private face. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's what they're going for here. I'm not going to call that a flaw or anything in this episode yet. It could be, it could not be. We'll keep our eyes out for that. Mm-hmm. The other thing was that Ned's wife, she caught up with Ned. And she met with a guy who I'm going to assume was her ex-boyfriend from the way they were talking.
Was he the guy who was running like that place that he?
Yeah, he was running the prostitute house.
Right.
The brothel.
Yeah.
It was apparently his dagger that the assassin had, and he lost it in a bet or something to the incest queen and her brother.
Yeah.
So now Ned's wife is pretty certain it was them who pushed Bran out the window. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I think we're going to have to wait a little longer to see what the outcome of this is going to be.
Yeah.
What actually had me a lot more interested was the stuff with Bran and Sis.
Oh, yeah.
So first, I want to talk about this thing with Sis, and that was that she's obviously still upset that Ginger Girl lied, her other sister lied.
Yeah.
In the last episode about Malfoy and the wolf and everything. But what I really liked today wasn't that. It was when Ned found her with the sword, playing with the sword. Mm-hmm. And I kind of got the impression he was going to take it away from her. I like how they went the other way, and like, Ned was kind of like impressed with her willingness to learn. So he ended up getting her a sword teacher. The last shot of the episode was her and the sword teacher.
I liked that.
Oh, that sword teacher is the best character. He is so, he's like super eccentric. I've found his like everything about it so amusing.
We'll just call him eccentric swordsmaster.
Pablo, because he got his Hispanic accent. He's Pablo. God, hammer tapping is going to be so amazing. He's probably having an aneurysm right now. But anyway, so like I just thought the scene with her and Pablo fighting was like, that was just a fun scene. I liked that a lot.
I like that too.
I thought it did a good job to develop her. And again, like, I think it did a lot to develop Ned. I said this last time, but like, I really appreciate how the family actually feels like a family.
Yeah, me too.
Which makes something with Jon Snow, when we get to his plot, a little more interesting. Yeah. But we'll get there in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing was, back with Bran, he was with this like old caretaker and she was telling him like stories about the White Walkers. I really liked like the words she was using, like the way she was speaking. I thought this was a really natural way to introduce what the White Walkers are to the viewers, that just dumping exposition.
Because she was telling him a story. What
I did not like was the music there. Oh my god, that was so cheesy. It was like the most generic horror cue ever. And
I love the slow zoom.
And then it led to like one of those jump out cuts where it's just like a regular guy opening the door and it's nothing scary at all. Yeah. God, it's like it's not 1980 anymore, you know, like cinematography, filmmaking has moved past this. We don't.
Yeah.
I liked everything about the scene, except I thought the music choice was kind of bad. And I don't know, the first slow zoom looked kind of awkward, but the second one I didn't think was that bad. Mm-hmm. It was like first one where it was like behind, like you could see Bran and you could see the old lady. I was like zooming. That one felt cheesy, but then the second one, the angle just worked a little better. I thought it was just him in the bed and he was like not in the center of the shot.
Yeah.
Did you have something you wanted to say about Sis or?
Yeah, I was going to say that I feel like she's a character who I've seen a million times.
Yes.
But I like her.
I wouldn't call her the most unique character out there, but she's handled well for what she is.
She is handled well. That little girl is a good actress too. And yeah, I feel like I could see everything coming in her plot. Like, I kind of knew that Ned was going to be okay with her.
I didn't know he was going to be okay. I knew she was going to learn the sword regardless. Yeah. I didn't know if it was going to be he said no and she was going to learn through her own initiative or he was going to set her up. Because I've seen the plot go both ways in other media. So I wasn't sure which one they were going to go with here. So admittedly, you predict something I didn't there. But, like, I knew she was going to learn, if that made sense. I just didn't know through what means.
Yeah, but I thought that they're handled well.
For sure.
It didn't feel... They felt like they had a uniqueness to it.
And then I think that'll actually transition to the plot that I have the most to say about. And that would be Jon Snow. So Jon Snow, he is now at the watch guard place. He was training with the other guards. And it turns out they're all, like, you know, criminals and, like, rejects and stuff. First off, I love the scene where he's just kicking all their asses.
Oh, yeah. He's badass.
Oh, yeah. He's cool.
Jon Snow for Smash.
He's going to die. He's going to die. He's definitely going to. They were building up. He's doomed. He is absolutely doomed.
I think he's going to live till, like, the end.
I do not think
Jon Snow? I feel like he's going to live till the end. He just seems too important.
He might not die in the first season, like I originally predicted, but I do not see him living to the end of the show.
I mean, he might die in, like, the second to last episode, but I could totally see him living.
My prediction, again, this could change as we watch more episodes. My my prediction is still that he's not going to make it past like halfway through. I just don't see it.
I think Snow and Daenerys are both going to live.
I think she's going to live till the end.
Yeah.
I think she's living till the end, honestly. I can't see them killing her off. But with Snow, when he like went back to put his weapons away, the other guards were pissed at him for being better than them, so they tried to murder him. And then the dwarf came and saved him. Again, I love the dwarf's interaction with him. I love how they both relate because they're both kind of like been rejected by their family. And that's one thing I love so much too. Jon Snow is rejected by his parents. Mm-hmm. He even said like, you know, everyone's condemned out here. It's like, my dad knew what this place was like and he condemned me to go here.
Aww.
And I love how that's such a contrast from how Ned treats the rest of his family. Like, he views Snow as an embarrassment, like a mistake he made.
Yeah, but he's not mean to his face.
No, but he doesn't like him. And I think they handle this in a very, like, mature, realistic way.
Yeah, I feel like Ned wants to like him, but, like, he can't, like, because he regrets it.
Yes, I agree with that completely. I feel like Ned doesn't want to hate him, but he does. Mm-hmm. But I loved all the, like, imagery, like, the tall, like, wall of ice and everything. Yeah. I kind of liked how the dwarf, like, didn't believe there were monsters on the other side of the wall. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I love just how desperate these people feel. It's like, they're like, we are the only thing keeping whatever's out there from getting into, like, civilization. Mm-hmm. And then, like, we're ignored by the king. We need more backup. We're dying out here.
That's true. There's, like, barely anyone out there. And they really are the only ones.
They said it's tiny and everyone is either a non-professional fighter, like a criminal, or an old guy.
Yeah.
And they're saying, like, you know, we're screwed. We need help out here. And I like the sense of desperation and dread they have. Like, they know they're kind of fucked if nothing changes.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that about the show, how, like, it's setting up what it's going to be. It's not being so blatantly like, oh, they're all going, it's not like shoving in your face they're going to die or anything, but it's just like, it's treating how the characters would react in the situation, I think. Mm-hmm. I like how Jon Snow had, like, the slow realization that he's been condemned to working out here. Like, this isn't some noble job like he wants it to be. This is a shit show. I just appreciate that about it. And like I said, I just appreciate the whole dynamic he has with it. I like how everyone else kind of resents him there too. He's such an outcast. And the other thing was we met another character who I guess is kind of in charge of the Night Watch out here. Mm-hmm.
Who was he again?
He kind of looked like how Liam Neeson looked in Star Wars The Phantom Menace.
Oh, the guy with the long hair.
Yeah, so let's just call him Liam Neeson. Again, Hammer Tapping's would be so mad because they probably said his name like once in the episode.
How dare you not pick up on that?
How dare you not pick up on all these names when there's so many new characters in every episode? We'll learn them eventually.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, I liked how Liam Neeson was like... I liked the scene where he was talking to the dwarf. Mm-hmm. Where he was all like the dwarf's just like cracking jokes or whatever and doesn't take anything seriously. He's all like, why don't you just go back to your like whorehouses or whatever? He said, you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember that. Uh-huh.
I just like their whole interaction, how like he wasn't like pissed at the dwarf or anything, but he was kind of like not taking the dwarf shit.
He was kind of annoyed, like, are we a joke to you?
Yeah, it's like, I think it's actually what he says, like, is the Night Watch a joke to you? Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. I also appreciate how it shows how the dwarf doesn't take anything seriously. Yeah. He's so fed up with the world that he just doesn't care.
He's given up.
So overall, I definitely liked all that too. And then one other thing, this was one scene, we got to see Malfoy with his mother, the queen.
Oh, that was a good scene.
I liked that scene a lot too, because I liked how, first off, he's admitting he's insecure, which he kind of got in the last episode. Yeah. He's admitting, he's like, no, I'm not here. I fell down and screamed. Yeah. I like how he's only able to like be open to her. And the other thing is like, you totally see like why he's so horrible too. His mother's all like, oh, you did nothing wrong all the time. And she's all like, you're going to be such a great leader. You need to control people.
Did we, I forget if we talked about this, but did we guess that he could possibly be the offspring of the siblings?
Yes, we mentioned that in the last episode that it was a passing thought in the last episode that he's so blonde, maybe he's the result of Clive and the Queen and not the King and the Queen. Yeah. This episode had a little bit in there that I'm pretty sure was supposed to hint at that too. And that is that the King said that all the Linares family is super blonde. He mentioned that in the scene where he was making fun of people that, he's like, I'm surrounded by all the blonde Linareses. Yeah. He drew attention to the fact that they're blonde, and I don't think that was an accident. I'm pretty sure this kid is supposed to be like the incest offspring of the Queen and her brother. Yeah. I might be reading too deep into this. I acknowledge that there's a possibility I'm reading too deep into this.
But he could be another bastard child.
That is just, not only a bastard, incest child, too.
Yeah.
That is the impression I got. It just seemed weird that he drew attention to the fact that they're so blonde.
Yeah, the Lannisters.
What was I calling them?
The Langoliers, I don't know.
Point is, I knew it started with an L.
Yeah.
I can recognize who they are. Mm-hmm. I recognize the names when they're said out loud, but, I'm not... Yeah. I'm not going to commit them to memory until the show, super wins me over. I'm not giving it... I go into every show the same way. I go in completely neutral and has to really, win me over for me to actually care on a deeper level about it. Yeah. And until I get to that point where I care, I'm not going to learn their names. It's just how it is. But, I definitely enjoyed this episode overall, as I said.
Yeah, it's enough for me to want to come back, this show so far. I'm enjoying it.
So before ending this off, there's one more thing I want to point out. That's back in Ned's plot. When his daughters are fighting, he said, "War is easier than daughters." That was my favorite line in the show so far.
That was a good line.
That was great.
I like Ned.
I'm not saying that line is the most in-depth thing in the world. I just found that really amusing.
Yeah.
So I guess overall, do you have any other miscellaneous thoughts on this episode?
Well, not really.
Like I said before, this had a few quirks in it. It definitely had a few things that I felt like were a little off. But overall, I think it was the best so far. I would give this one a 7.5. I know that to a lot of people, this probably doesn't seem like that much of an improvement over the previous ones. But like I said, I'm a hard-to-please asshole. So
I'd probably also give it a 7.5.
Yeah, overall, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where it goes next. I'm interested to see the next episode. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Like I said before, feel free to tell us down in the comments below what you thought of this episode. As always, if you see Hammer tapping down there, like I said, you call him out, but like please don't antagonize him. And yeah, if he keeps it up, I'll just shadow ban him because I'm trying to promote like a nice sense of community here. And if people like that are going to get angry, that's kind of counterproductive to what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
we're just here to watch Game of Thrones.
He's probably going to whine about how, oh, you're going to censor me because you guys are cowards. You don't want to be exposed.
We need to just make like the most clickbaitiest title, like exposed. Hammer tapping exposes fabulous fish.
He exposes me as a fraud.
And then a thumbnail like
no
gasping.
The real plot twist is that I have never been in a single one of these videos. It's all fake. I got a robot to do it for me while I just pretend to be in them.
Oh my god. We're not actually dating. It's all a fake.
This isn't even a real video. This is just a figment of all your imaginations. But no, like I said,
this is a dream.
Like I said, don't take him too seriously. Like I'm pretty much at the end of like what I'm doing.
The only war that should be going on is the war in the show.
And daughters.
And the daughters. But
as always, thank you all for watching. This has been Fabulous Fish.
And Catatouille 101.
Join us next time as we go for episode 4, and hope to see you all there.
Bye-bye.